Even with all of the investment that's happening globally in cyber defenses, cybercrime is at an all-time high, now crossing through a global annual cost of over $600 billion. Tim, enter Tessian, where you're tackling one of the biggest problem in cybercrime, being emails and email hack. There's obviously a whole lot of considerations around how you manage emails and monitor the flow of emails. What is the fundamental approach that you take with Tessian?
Tessian is using machine learning to analyze and understand email activity that happens within an organization. And what that allows us to do is that by applying machine learning algorithms to these historical data sets, we can understand on every email that is then sent and every email that is received, does this email look safe or does it look like a security threat?
I've actually had a personal experience where my email was hacked and spoofed, and then instructions were sent out to my finance department to wire several $100,000 out, and they successfully did that to a fraudulent account. How would Tessian have prevented that attack?
It's very effective. It's very hard to detect. What we're doing is we, again, are using this historical understanding of the email data that exists in an organization, applying machine learning to that, and then we're able to automatically detect abnormalities in the emails that people receive in an organization. So that could be the domain that this email has been sent from that is purporting to be the CEO actually is visually similar, but different to the legitimate domain of the organization. So that is one example of what we would detect on that email, and then we would show a notification to the recipient to warn them specifically what looks unusual and what to do with the email communication.
So you've got training data today that's over 1 billion emails and growing very rapidly. What have you seen the evolution of the platform as you've been able to build such a large training data set?
One thing we've been able to do is that with this training data, we've been able to move from preventing outbound threats like misdirected email communications and data exfiltration, and then actually leverage all of that intelligence and understanding to now offer a solution to the phishing and spear phishing problem, which is plaguing companies across the world.
What sort of signals or inputs does the AI that you have built today so far look for exactly?
If you think about how many different data points there are on email, you can look at things like the times that the email are sent. You can look at the content of the email. Does it look sensitive? Attachments, so on and so forth. So it's myriad data points from the email data set that inform, does this email at this moment in time look like a security threat?
What's the success rate of identifying an illegitimate email?
You might be sending some information regarding an M&A transaction, and you might be sending it to a John Smith at banka.com, and actually normally you send this information to a John Smith at bankb.com. Tessian will detect differences in that kind of communication and say, hey, you don't normally send this kind of information to this kind of person. There's another similarly named person within your recipient base that you've sent it to previously. Would you still like to send, etc.?
There's a perception that email is no longer the primary form of communication in the enterprise, but that's not what you see in the marketplace, with over 40% of enterprise data sets being email related.
So, I think email usage is increasing if you look at data provided by Radicati. I think email is still the main artery of communication for most enterprises. And specifically within email, the challenges that arise are people make mistakes, they break the rules, and they're easily hacked.